Hey, what's up, guys? So, in this video, I wanted to share with you the techniques that I've used to get through the most difficult of times in my life. Um, Many of you, maybe most of you, probably don't know so much about me as an individual and as far as experiences that I've gone through. But I have gone through some really tough times in life, starting from a very, very young age. As an example of that, psychologically, facing, life in prison, 143 years as a young man, 21, 22 years old, being inside the jail, fighting charges from in there with no bail. You know, it was very, very tough mentally to endure that. Psychological issues were the most difficult for me personally, starting from those very younger ages, much younger than that, even 10 years prior, at 12, 13 years old. Things that had happened to me, things I was experiencing in juvenile detentions and shelters, were difficult. They were not easy to overcome. And I've just been hit with a lot in life. I've observed that I have to carry an extra heavy burden, apparently, when I compare to others in life. And I'm not complaining about that. I believe that I have a purpose. I believe it was in my suffering that I learned the most and that I developed in the ways that I can be of benefit to other people. But looking back, the most recent thing I've endured is terrible, terrible sickness. At this time, a year or so ago, I wasn't even able to get off the ground. I remember I was on the floor in so much pain, having all kinds of conditions, all kinds of internal and external issues. I couldn't even lift myself off the floor. I'm shaking like this, trembling, trying to just push myself up off the floor, laying flat on my face on the floor. And I wasn't able to. And I remember how hard it was for me to get myself up that first time. And I did the same thing that I always did. The same technique that I'm about to share with you, that I've utilized throughout my entire life, is what I used then. And that is the power of thought. Your own thoughts are what create and manifest reality. And I know many of you may not be at that level of understanding, may not process that as realistic, but I'm telling you that this is the case. There's an old saying that is very applicable here. What a man thinks, he will become. It's very true. When you think yourself a failure, I guarantee you'll be a failure. When you start your own thoughts on any subject with I can't, I guarantee you won't be able to. And the opposite, of course, must also be true. So for me to get through those times, I had to mentally prepare myself and mentally exercise so often, so regularly, and for so long, to the point where I not only was very aware of my thoughts and stopped any thoughts that I shouldn't be having, but in addition, practiced intentionally to have powerful thoughts, thoughts of greatness, thoughts of strength, thoughts of health, thoughts of wealth, whatever you want to apply it to. This is how I did it, with belief. When you exercise your mind and intentionally train it to the point where you actually cross the line of you thinking something to you actually believing it, is the point when it will manifest, when it will become, when you will become more powerful than you'll ever believe. I've been to hell and back so many times now. I've faced death so many times now. And even though I know the answer myself, this whole time I've been sick, every time I've endured anything, I've known this answer. It's so hard to do. It is so, so hard to do. And this applies to anything. This applies to addictions as well. Whatever addiction anyone may be facing, whether it be drugs, whether it be gambling, or anything. This applies. Things will never change until you help yourselves. No one's going to pick me up off the ground. I have to fucking pick myself up. No one's going to make me think right. I have to choose to think right. No one's going to empower me with whatever it is that I need to get out of this or overcome whatever struggle I'm facing. I have to empower myself. And that's what I'm currently doing now. not only to continue to overcome my health issues, but financially. I've been decimated as a result of these last 3 years. But I don't let it defeat me. I don't let it convince me that I've lost everything, that I'm a failure. I can't. I have lives I'm responsible for. If I did that, I'd then be responsible for the failure of all these lives. I can't do that. I can't allow myself to be weak. I don't have a choice but to be fucking strong. Stronger than everybody. That's how I look at things. And so this is what I need to do. This is what I am doing. This is what I advise you to do. Start by thinking the right things. Start forcing, even if you're a drug addict, addicted out of your fucking mind, on the ground, unable to move, broken all relationships, all ties with family, burned every bridge, whatever it is, don't think those thoughts. If you're unemployed and poor and homeless, don't think those thoughts. Think the thoughts that you want to be your reality. Think them and overthink them and intentionally impress them on your psyche. So your subconscious will one day believe them and you'll trigger the manifestation of it. So I don't want to go on too much with this video as far as time. I hope you guys can really benefit from this and give it a lot of thought. And remember who this is coming from. This is coming from me. I'm not a person that's making money doing this. I'm not a person that's benefiting. I'm not a person that's selling you anything. I'm the same motherfucker that I was 6 years ago when I decided to first come on YouTube. When a very dear friend of mine encouraged me and convinced me to share. And that I had to have some purpose other than taking care of myself. Which I always knew to be true. I'm that same person. I don't have any reason to lie to you. I don't. So think about where and from whom the information you're processing is coming from. Because that's important as well. I really hope you guys can at least give this a shot. And I thank you all again for the support, for the love that you've always given me, and just for being there for me. Thank you so much, guys. And I'll talk to you next time.